pero part ng enteral. Again, balikan natin yung definition ng first pass effect. Ano sabi? The phenomenon of drug metabolism whereby the concentration of orally taken drugs, hindi enteral. Yung oral lang. Okay. So, yung oral lang effect, balikan ko yung enteral route. So, pag sinabing enteral, ito yung mga drugs na na-absorb, okay, sa J-tract, which is the oral, ang start ng GI is oral cavity, ang dulo ng GI is yung anus. So, any drug na na-absorb dyan sa tract na yan, so under yon ng enteral. Okay? And when you take the drug orally, okay, yung drug na yon, yung oral drug na yon, babagsak siya sa stomach eh. Babagsak siya sa stomach, babagsak siya dito sa small intestine. And yung drug dito, dok, ma-absorb. Pag na-absorb yung drug in the stomach and the small intestine, yung veins dyan, dok, nakakonect kay liver, that's why nagkakaroon ng first pass effect. Dito, dok, sa may sublingual route, yung vessels po dito, hindi siya nakakonect sa liver. Basically, once the drug is absorbed dito sa may sublingual route, iba po ipupuntahan yun. Diretso agad yun, Dok, sa may circulatory system natin. Dito siya mabagsak eh. Tapos may mga vessels na dito na maliit na magdi-diffuse na. Okay? Papunta dito sa may vessels natin dito. So, hindi na siya dadaan kay liver. Kaya mababypass ng sublingual route yung first pass effect. Naintindihan? Alam nyo, nitroglycerin, bigyan ko kayo ng history. Nitroglycerin is actually once being administered orally. This is given orally. Ano yan, nilulunok ng pasyente. Oral siya binibigay. But ito yung na-observe nila. When the drug is given orally, there's significant first pass effect na nangyayari. Ibig sabihin, I do not know lang the actual dose no nung nitroglycerin before na oral, hindi ko familiar. But the dose na binibigay nila, even high dose yung binibigay nila na oral, because of the significant first pass effect, very little dose of nitroglycerin reaches the systemic circulation. Basically, in the oral route, ang baba, very low, yung bioavailability ng nitroglycerin. And hence, they change its formulation and they they try to create again a drug that can be absorbed into the sublingual route. And dun na nag-start yung sublingual administration ng nitroglycerin. But historically, oral route yan na binibigay. Okay, nilulunok ng pasyente. Okay? So, no, so kaya dapat pag binigay siya, okay, ilalagay lang ng pasyente sa ilalim nung nung dila. Okay, hayaan lang siya ma-dissolve doon. Okay, so et cetera hanggang ma-absorb. Alright, next. So again, orally taken drugs lang ang naapektuhan ng first pass effect. Okay, so yung nilulunok lang. Next. Oh, baka para lang to be clear lang, Dok, paano naman yung suppositories? Yung suppositories, so just to add lang, baka na ano nyo rin naisip na rin. Yung suppositories kasi sinushoot yung drug dito sa may areas na to, yung pinakadulo na ng large intestine. Yung dulo, Dok, ng large intestine, yung veins din po nito, hindi siya connected sa liver. Nakakonect siya sa vena cava. Okay? So kaya yung suppository drugs, nababypass din niya yung first pass effect. Okay? So again, rectal suppositories, nababypass din yung first pass effect kasi diretso sa vena cava yung diretso sa vena cava yung um, suppository drug na yon. Okay, unlike pag sa stomach or sa small intestine na absorb, the drug needs to can pass through the liver first bago makarating sa circulation. Okay? So, take note dyan. Next, may sinabi ni Doc. So, ibig sabihin, Doc, mas mataas ang bioavailability ng sublingual routes. Ah, not necessarily, we cannot generalize it, Doc, eh. We cannot generalize that because there's a problem with absorption din in the sublingual. Remember, the small intestine and the small intestine and the stomach, or basically the gastrointestinal organs natin, they are designed to absorb nutrients, right? So basically, Doc, that's why most of the drugs are given orally kasi mostly na maganda yung absorption dito sa stomach and the small intestine. But again, there are some drugs, ang nagiging problem is how they are metabolized by the liver during that, again, process ng first pass effect, like the nitroglycerin. Okay, that's why that nitroglycerin has a problem with the oral route, but not a problem with the other drugs, like paracetamol, for instance. Gets? So therefore, only nitroglycerin is changed, okay, into a sublingual route, but not the other drugs. So we cannot again say that mas mataas ang bioavailability ng drugs given sublingually. Kumbaga, they're just given sublingually actually just to bypass the first pass effect. Gets? Naintindihan? Kaya sila binibigay sublingually para lang i-bypass yung first pass effect na yun. Okay? Kasi hindi sila pwedeng oral. Okay, aside from that, some drugs are given in different routes because they are unstable in the acid of the stomach. Kasi may mga drug, pagbagsak sa stomach, may acid dyan, pH of 1 to 3, hydrochloric acid, hindi nagiging, um, nawawala yung drug activity, nasisira yung drug. And therefore, the drug cannot be absorbed properly as well in the oral route. Kaya mangyari, iba nila yung formulation. Gagawin nilang intramuscular, gagawin nilang intravenous. Some drugs naman are given intravenously because they're not totally absorbed sa GI tract. Some drugs naman, they're given intravenously because you want them, remember, there's a delay sa absorption ng oral. When you take the drug orally, may 30 minutes delay bago ma-absorb yan eh. 30 minutes yun. So some drugs are given intravenous kasi gusto mo immediate yung effect ng drug. Like the general anesthetic drugs. So IV bibigay para in a minute or two, tulog na yung patient. Okay? So basically, Doc, we cannot generalize yun. So yung sinasabi mo na, so ibig sabihin, Doc, mas mataas ang bioavailability ng sublingual route drugs, hindi natin siya pwede i-generalize. That's true for nitroglycerin. Mas mataas ang bioavailability ng nitroglycerin in the sublingual route in comparison with the oral route. Gets? Can you get my point? We cannot generalize. I hope na nakuha yung punto ko. Okay? So take note yun. So hindi lahat ng drugs na absorb din ng maganda in the sublingual. Okay. Next. Balik tayo. I'm not quite familiar with the mechanism of the captopril, doc. So, yung question mo na yun, I'm not quite familiar with that about captopril. Yung specification ng captopril, hindi ako familiar. Okay, kasi dami ng drugs. Ayan, so, hindi ko na pinapansin minsan yung iba. Okay. Okay, so, anyway, so, punta tayo dito. But, some drugs, maybe, but some drugs, they're given sublingually just to bypass the first pass effect. Okay? So, kaya you may check the history ng drug. If you want to know more about a certain drug, check its history. Minsan ganun yan. Meron siyang history na pangit siya sa oral. So, kaibay nila yung formulation. Okay, another good example is salbutamol. Salbutamol, okay, yung ginagamit for asthma. Okay? So, they say na hindi siya ganun ka-okay. Though may oral yan, may oral lang salbutamol, di ba? Pero, yun nga, pangit din siya it works orally, pero iba yung inhalation. Tama? Sa mga may asthma dyan, salbutamol orally, it works, but iba yung inhalation. You can compare it. Ako, asthmatic ako. I can compare it. Okay? Yung oral na tinitake versus yung inhalation. Iba yung effect ng inhalation. Okay? So, parang ganun. So, that's why there's the annihilation. So, better route for that drug. So, parang ganun siya. Basically, based on, again, empirical, researches, so kaya nagkakaroon ng changes ng formulation. Okay, next move tayo sa distribution. So again, distribution process starts when the drug is already in the circulatory system. So once the drug is already in the circulatory system, okay, so that is the start ng distribution stage. And again, the goal of the distribution stage is to, okay, distribute yung drug sa buong katawan. Okay, sumasabay, no? So the drug flows together with the circulation until it is distributed sa body. Okay, ngayon pa tayo sa notes. So, when the drug is in the circulatory system, usually it is in two forms. It can be in the free ionized form, and nandun siya sa, it can also be in the bound drug na form. So, when you say free ionized, sabi sa notes, these are free floating drugs in the plasma fluid. So, yung drug, doc, nakaano lang siya. Nagpo-float lang siya. Okay, so nandiyan lang siya. Then there's some drugs na naka-attach sila sa plasma proteins. Kasi yung green dito are the proteins sa dugo natin. So some drugs are attached to the plasma proteins, okay? And we call them as bound drug. Okay, the free ionized drug, ito yung readily useful. Okay, sila yung readily useful. Since they're not attached to something, let's say we're talking about paracetamol, okay, the target site of paracetamol is the central nervous system. It goes to the CNS. So once the circulation with the blood with the drug reaches the reaches the central nervous system, the free ionized drug will be able to attach to the receptor sites in the CNS, and hence magkakaroon ng effect ng yung paracetamol in the central nervous system. Okay, again, yung free ionized lang yung makakapag-bind. The bound drug will just bypass ito, and again, it will just flow along the circulatory system. So basically, the bound drug is not readily useful. Okay. Ngayon, as the blood circulates, again, free ionized bind to the receptors. Kasi, of course, some of them cannot bind kasi kasabay sila sa circulatory system. Then eventually, it will reach the liver. And it is also that the free ionize that will be metabolized. Kasi nga, sila yung nakakalat lang eh. Sila yung free lang eh. So, liver will immediately metabolize this free ionize, and they will be excreted via this urinary system. So, basically, free ionize are being depleted. Okay, na-deplete ito. And kung titingnan nyo po dito, and kung titingnan nyo rito, nauubos yung free ionized but yung bound drug, nandun pa rin sila. Ay, ganito yung nangyari. So, anong function ng bound drug? So, what's the function of the bound drug? If they're not used by the body, they're not metabolized. Okay. The bound drug actually serves as a reservoir of free ionized. When free ionized are being depleted, this bound drug detaches themselves from the plasma protein, and they again are converted into free ionized form. Okay pa? So again, the bound drug serves as a reservoir of the free ionized drugs. So ibig sabihin, can we say that the blood plasma acts as a temporary storage site ng drugs? Yes or no? Can we say that the blood plasma serves as a temporary storage site ng drugs? Yes. Okay, so the blood plasma actually temporarily, so na-stored dito in drugs in the form of the bound drug. Okay, but take note, hindi lang po, hindi lang sa hindi lang sa plasma temporarily naka-store yung mga drugs ha. They can be stored as well in some other parts ng body. Okay? So like for instance sa balat. Okay? So, meron diyan 'di ba sa hair follicles, 'di ba? Sa adipocytes. Okay. Kaya nga yung mga ano eh, kaya nga yung, yung mga Mga politiko nagdodroga, takot magpa-blood test yan eh. I mean, sorry, takot sila magpa-hair follicle test. Okay, kasi na-store dito minsan eh. Okay, remember the drugs, they're generally in the lipid-soluble form. And therefore, if the drugs are in the lipid-soluble form, saan nila gusto magstay? Gusto nila magstay sa taba. Tama? Lipid. Lipid. Okay? Siyempre, gusto nila magstay kung saan sila belong. So, kaya, Dok, may mga drugs po na lipid-soluble form na pwedeng nag-stay for quite a while sa adipocytes. Say, kunyari, tinake mo ngayon, tapos ilang days na, let's say, 3 days, 5 days na lumipas, pwedeng nandun pa rin sa balat mo yon, nasa adipocytes, pwedeng nandyan pa rin siya, nandito sa areas na to. Okay, kaya may ibang, yun nga, politiko, pagka drug test na yung pinag-uusapan, kinakabahan na kasi guilty sila eh. Okay? Guilty silang meron silang tinake before na baka ma-detect pa. Okay? Baka nandun pa sa dugo nila, nasa balat nila. Kasi nga, um, pwedeng nandun pa talaga. Okay? Walang assurance na na-excrete siya 100%. Okay? So may ganong may mga ganyan yan. Next, metabolism. Okay. So metabolism, again, siya yung third step ng pharmacokinetics. And when we talk about metabolism, it happens in different parts ng body. But there are two primary site ng drug metabolism. And that is the liver as well as the plasma. But mainly the liver. Okay, mainly metabolism happens sa liver. So secondary sa plasma. Doon tayo sa liver muna. Okay, ito yung nabanggit ko yata sa anesthesiology natin. So, when liver metabolizes drugs, it uses enzymes. So, there are two main enzymes used by the liver. We have the microsomal enzymes and we have the non-microsomal enzymes. And please take note, Doc, and please take note, the microsomal, or if you want to memorize a certain enzyme, kasi we have several enzymes na ginamit sa liver, but we have a single enzyme na I want you to remember, the microsomal enzyme cytochrome P450. So if you will remember a single enzyme ng drug na pang-metabolize ng drug, ito po, the microsomal enzyme cytochrome P450, or sometimes it is abbreviated as CP450. Nandun to sa anesthesiology discussion natin. Sabi ko, babalikan ko siya dito. Okay, kasi bakit ito? Most drugs are metabolized by this enzyme. A lot of drugs, no, most drugs are being metabolized by this microsomal enzyme cytochrome P450. In the licensure examination, ito lang din yung lumilitaw. Kaya I do not advise you to remember or to memorize other enzymes pa. Okay? Aside from this, kasi if you read a book, if you read pharmacology books, you can encounter different enzymes. Hindi mo nababanggit sa boards. Even the non-microsomal enzymes, hindi nababanggit sa exam. Pero ito madalas ito. Next, move tayo sa function ng liver. So, functions ng liver. So, first here, sabi sa notes natin, it converts lipid-soluble drugs to lipid-insoluble. Pag sinabing lipid-insoluble, same yun sa water-soluble. Okay? So again, lipid insoluble is same yun sa water soluble. So ito yung sabi ko kanina. So si liver, kino-convert niya yung lipid soluble to lipid insoluble or water soluble drugs because water soluble substances, sabi dyan, are easily excreted by the kidneys to prevent toxicity. Again, just like the vitamins B and C. Next, also the liver converts the active drugs into inactive form. So obviously, pag daan ng drug sa liver, active yung drug na yun, ide-deactivate niya. Okay, this reduces the toxic effects ng drug. Siyempre, kung na-reduce yung active form ng drug, mare-reduce din yung toxic effects ng drug. Next, sunod, it converts prodrugs into the active form. Ano naman po ito? Doc, when I say prodrug, it means it is synonymous sa inactive na drug. Dok, may mga certain drugs na nabibili sa market na inactive sila. Binibili mo silang inactive, meaning walang kwenta yung drug. At kailangan, naka-formulate sila na they need to pass through the liver first para ma-activate po yung drug na yon. Okay? We call these inactive drugs as prodrugs. Okay, ano example nito? Aspirin. Aspirin is a prodrug. Walang kwenta yon. Pagdaan kay liver nun, it will be converted by the liver into salicylates. Okay? Other term for aspirin. Other term for aspirin sa undergrad nyo. Is A or? Ano ibang pangalan? Or? Ano ibig sabihin ng SA? Sa undergrad, naalala? Acetyl salicylic acid. Diba? So we also call this acetyl salicylic acid or ASA or ASA. Okay, it is a salicylate. Okay, aspirin is a kind of salicylate, acetyl salicylic acid. Another example is codeine. Familiar with codeine? This is converted into morphine. Okay, familiar kayo kay codeine? May nakarinig na ba nito? Sa siya ginagamit? Madidiscuss natin um, later on. Saan ginagamit to si codeine? Saan siya ginagamit? Saan yun na narinig na ginagamit siya? Sa pain, sabi ni Doc, kasi nagiging morphine siya. Sa pain. Ngayon nakarinig na ba ginagamit to sa ubo? Anti-tussive. Tapos, anti-tussive. May nakarinig na ba? Ginagamit to sa ubo. O, madidiscuss natin. Bakit yung codeine, morphine, ginagamit sa ubo? Ano yung addict? Discuss natin sa future. Okay. Next. So again, these are again prodrugs. So again, there's some drugs, prodrugs. So i-convert sila into the active form. Next. Examples daw ng drugs na metabolized sa liver. Most drugs are metabolized sa liver and as well as the amide local anesthetics. Na-discuss ko na to. Ano ulit yung mga amides natin? Ano yung code natin sa kanila? Sila yung mga anesthetic solution na ano, pag sinabing amide. Amide. Ito yung mga anesthesia na ano yung code natin? Dalawa yung I, single yung I. Ito yung may double I. Yes, ito yung mga anesthesia na merong double I, di ba? Like lidocaine, kay prilocaine, may pivocaine, kay articaine. Pero sino yung dalawang I na ester? Sino yung may two I's but it's classified as an ester? Si piperocaine. Si piperocaine, so dalawa yung I niya, but again, ester siya. So takalan natin yan, ha? Saan metabolism ang amides? Liver. So kaya nandito siya sa tiniskas natin. Next, plasma. So plasma naman, again, another site ng metabolism ng drug, and we have an enzyme as well dito, known as the plasma pseudocholinesterase. Doc, pakitandaan din ito. So dalawa yung enzyme na tatandaan nyo. The microsomal enzyme, cytochrome P450, as well as the plasma pseudocholinesterase. So examples ng drugs metabolized into plasma. So the ester agents, like the ester local anesthetics, and as well as succinylcholine. Sino yung amide local anesthesia na metabolize both sa liver and the plasma? Maganda yan. Which is articaine. So articaine is metabolized both, again, the liver and the plasma. Sino naman yung very first local anesthesia? Sino yung unang-unang local anesthesia natin? Cocaine. Okay, cocaine is the very first local anesthesia. But sino yung first synthetic? Sino yung first synthetic local anesthesia? Procaine. Yes, procaine is the first synthetic local anesthesia. Okay? Ano yung dalawang anesthesia na bumubuo ng EMLA? Ano yung dalawang local anesthesia na nag-form ng EMLA? The eutectic mixture of local anesthesia. Yes, lidocaine is one. Yes, another is the prilocaine. Good. So lidocaine and prilocaine. Okay. Next, baba tayo. Move tayo sa excretion. So the last stage ng pharmacokinetics is excretion. And again, there are several areas kung saan pwedeng ma-excrete yung body natin. ay ma-excrete yung drug sa body natin. So like the kidney. So the kidney, it's a major organ for excretion. When you talk about drug excretion, most drugs talaga, iniihi talaga natin yan. And again, in order for the drug to be excreted in this route, primarily, it must be in the water-soluble form. Next, another site ng drug excretion, another site of drug excretion is the lungs. Example ng drugs excreted here, una-una dito is the nitrous oxide. The nitrous oxide, it is also known as the laughing gas. It is also known as the laughing gas. Bakit? No, nitrous oxide is an analgesic